Hello, citizens of tomorrow. I'm here at Station 204 doing some upgrades. I want to say really quickly, for those of you who are worried, Space News is coming out this week. Jared was a little bit under the weather last week, so unfortunately we weren't able to get that out the door. I've been working my tail off trying to get everything at the station ready for Yuri's night. So this is just going to be a really quick live preview of everything that's going on behind the scenes here at Tomorrow. I do want to say I think this is going to be the last behind the scenes that I do on the Tomorrow channel proper. I realized as I started doing these, we started hemorrhaging subscribers. We've actually had a net loss of over 100 subscribers since I started this. I think it's due to two things. First, not space news. It's not space related. Like it's video geekery stuff, and that's not why you're here. So I get that. I understand that. But second, I am gender awkward right now, and I think that a lot of people, especially those who are just kind of silent, just kind of silently working in the background, just like gender awkward, also not what they subscribed for, so they just are noping out. So we're going to move all the behind the scenes stuff over to Jamie's Bits. I will have a link to that in the description below. So if you want to see what's going on, this is the last time you're going to get a behind the scenes view of the TMRO Studios as we upgrade for Yuri's Night. Why are we upgrading for Yuri's Night? Well, if you don't know, Yuri's Night is a global celebration of humanity in space. Hello, Marty the Martian. And it's usually a series of parties all over the planet, on and off world. They've actually even had a remote party on the International Space Station in years past. But obviously in a COVID-19 world, that's not a thing, right? So we needed to find a different way to do a global celebration of humans' accomplishments in space. Sorry for the bumpiness. I'm trying to like hold this with I wish I had a thing. Anyhow, trying to find a way to celebrate humanity. And Tomorrow has offered to give our services to Yuri's Night for free. So I'm doing, this is probably a $15,000 to $20,000 upgrade to our studios. This is likely the largest upgrade that Tomorrow has done. Don't touch my face. It's just my hair. The largest upgrade that Tomorrow Studios have done since we moved into Station 204. So this is a big deal for us, and I'm working pretty hard to get it all going. It's certainly not done yet. You can actually see like I'm sweating. It's pretty terrible. Dutta earlier asked if I was wearing pajamas. No, I'm just wearing a. There you go. All right, so let me give you a quick walkthrough of what's where our status is. For those of you who watched the last one, it's a mess. Look at how much of the cable we've despooled. So that's 3,000 feet of, sorry, I know it's imperial measurements, but 3,000 feet of Belden 1694A cable, and that has been run into multiple locations. I have re-racked all of the gear so you can see it's in its new home. However, none of the cables are plugged in yet, so it's nice and clean back here because nothing's really running. The only thing I do have working is internet, and that's just barely. That networking setup is actually getting replaced tomorrow, I think. So you get a pretty good idea as to what all of this is. So we've got a couple of different things going on. So these are brand new i7 Mac Minis, new in box. So those just came in, upgraded the RAM, upgraded the processor, upgraded everything, and then these will be the HDMI to SDI 4K converters. This is for the first Mac Mini. There will be 3 outputs for the first Mac Mini for our Zoom room. So screens 1, 2, 3. This is for the second Mac Mini, 4, 5, and 6. So that'd be much more powerful than what we had before. So we'll be able to have quite a bit more guest interaction going on. And then there's a blank here because we're missing some gear that's going to hopefully come in, some conversion gear, some broadcasting gear, the constellation system, and then a bunch of conversions. So we've got an Apple TV, we've got an ISS above, and there's also going to be a PC sitting over there for the technical director, and then our Axion system sits up top with the networking. I debated whether I'd move that to the front, but I realized that I want the ports in the back so that they can drape nice and neat. And then there are 2 holes at the very, very bottom of the rack. Actually, it's 1, I suppose, but it's actually to be broken into two rack unit UPSs that'll actually go in the rack itself. And then I've got all the cables and everything else. Like I'm going to custom make all the cables using purple. You might wonder why in the world I'm using purple cable. And that's actually so that I can distinguish it from SpaceX stuff. Because I use a lot of the same gear, a lot of the same cable, a lot of the same stuff between Tomorrow and SpaceX. I want to be able to prove that, no, I bought this myself. Tomorrow paid for this. This is mine. And the easiest way to do that is to color code everything. So I use white cable at SpaceX because that's kind of the color scheme for SpaceX. So when you look at any of my mobile studios, if you ever get to see them, if you're like in an audience or something, you'll notice that all of the cable umbilicals are the exact same grade cable. It's the same type of cable. It's just white instead of purple. And then the TMRO color is purple. Our logo is purple, everything else. So I could have gone with black cable, but how boring is that? Also, it's the same price, so purple. So that's that room. Here is the control room. It is a disaster zone, so nothing's really in place yet. All of that still needs to come down. And you can see some of the cable has been run down, so that is pre-staged to get pulled down through the wall here. This is all of the cable that will be needed to drive the screens over here. These screens are all coming off the wall. They're going to get put back up with new mounts, and they're going to be two more larger HD 4K TVs above it, and those TVs should kind of like fill in that gap. So it'll be preview, program, system control, so computer, and then multi-view, and all be in one nice flat console. And then back here, like kind of where I'm standing right now, is where the producer's console goes, and then all of the desks and whatnot get updated. So this will look really sleek and nice. I'm going to pull it away from the wall just to pinch and get some lighting up there so we actually have a nice view of the technical director. And then as we move over here, you can see once again the back of the set. So this hasn't really changed the set, and actually you can see the umbilical just draped on the floor. So this umbilical down here are all the cables that we've looped throughout the entire studio. All of those, this umbilical actually is going to end up going back that way over the ceiling and down behind that rack. Except it's not ready yet. I got to pull out all the old cable. And here you can see this was actually Dutta that did all of these. And this is, for anyone who's pulled cable before, this is a lot of work. He worked his tail off as well, getting all of this going. So a huge thank you to Dutta for making this happen. He's also going to help mount the TVs in the next room. So there you can see a couple cables dropping down. This is camera position 1, camera position 2. You got cables going to camera position 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you might be thinking to yourself, I feel like that's a lot more cameras than you've had before. And it is. And here's the thing. This is the largest upgrade that TMRO has ever done. And so for those of you who are worried, thinking like, oh, the live shows are gone, I don't understand, it's not the same, I want that old TMRO back. It's not that we're gone. It's that I've been trying to figure out the best way to do some of these things. And, oh, my voice therapist, like, my voice is too low today. It's fine. Trying to figure out how to do some of these things and get you guys compelling, amazing content, both live and on demand, be it space news or live shows. And so understand, even with, how do I want to word this? I'm doing a substantial personal investment in equipment and processes and everything, which should hopefully tell you that they're not going away. The intent is to bring them back. The intent is to bring them back on a regular schedule that it's going to be at this day, at this time. That's the intent. But like, I'm not ready yet, right? I need a little bit more time to figure out content. Oh, this is much easier to hold. I'm just going to need more time. So there you go. That's kind of the update for what I have today. So let me go back to some of the comments here. So Colin said, don't touch your face. I mean, it's hard not to. Craig said, hey, everyone. Denise, hello. Jim Griffin says, more power. Fabiano says, purple is very cool. I agree. I like it. I think it's different than what you would normally see. Oh, we have other upgrades coming in as well. So on the set, there's normally a TV. We now have 2 matching TVs that can be driven from the set, and there's actually purple cable that drops down over there. 2 new matching stands that go with that. All of our cameras are getting tripod upgrades. All of our cameras are getting confidence monitor upgrades as well. Orlin 800 said, oh my God, what happened to him? I assume you're just talking about the radical weight loss and change in face and hair, transitioning genders from male to female. Alan Zydak says, hello from Diamond Bar. I assume that's California. Hello. Newton, hello from Brazil. So there you go. So once again, this is the last behind the scenes that I'm going to do on the TMRO channel proper. If you enjoy behind the scenes footage of seeing like how we build the set, how we make all of these things go, you have to subscribe to Jamie's Bits, which is my personal channel. I'm going to keep all of this off of the TMRO channel proper. TMRO channel proper is only going to get space news, live shows, and then big, huge space events, but you don't get any peeks behind the curtain. For that, you must subscribe to my personal channel. That is not so that I get more subscribers. That's simply because I've noticed through the analytics that we're hemorrhaging subscribers anytime I do a video like this. So even doing this one is a bit risky, but there you go. That's also, if you're like, this is not the content I subscribed for, don't worry. It's not, it's whatever. Will you get an itemized list of upgrades? I certainly can. Like, actually, you can see some of the, even that screen is going to get repurposed and tipped on its side, much like that screen, so it can act as a secondary chat monitor for hosts. So that'll be kind of cool. Let's see here. Kevin says, hi, Jamie. I love the feeling of rebuilding a system. I hope you're enjoying. Yeah, I do enjoy it. I like it quite a bit, but like, I enjoy it when I have a bigger budget and when it's not my money, because I have to make hard decisions. Oliver says, hello, hello. Terrence says, for us TV nerds, absolutely, like anyone who likes it. Fabiano says, sorry, but I can't put into words what it feels seeing your love about the show. One day wish to be able to demonstrate what you do means to me. You know, I appreciate it. There is a love and passion that goes into this. I mean, to be blunt, I'm never going to make up that money that I just invested in the show ever. Like, that's money that I just took and threw to the show, and we will never make it back. I don't pull a paycheck from TMRO. In fact, I am the largest patron of TMRO. Week after week, month after month, I put in the most amount of money. I don't like to advertise that fact too much, but like, this is a passion of mine. I think this is important. I've learned a lot along the way. I think I am really trying to get you guys an amazing, compelling live show that makes sense. That is something that you can tune in week after week and go, wow, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. And we haven't, at least just being blunt, we haven't hit that yet. I can't quite put my finger on it. I think we're getting closer with the show that Carrie Ann and I are doing. It's still not right. I think what we need is a little bit of the old show format where we've got a little bit more media blended in, a few more camera shots, like a little bit more interactivity there, but with that casual feeling. I think that's the solution, but it just takes a second. Martin says, well, I just thought, who's this chick in the video? Yeah, I appreciate that. Like, I know that my voice doesn't work. I know that my face doesn't work, but, you know, it still brings a smile to my face. Oliver says, cool stuff what you're doing. Would love to help by providing an Amimo Live license so you can add cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to help in any way, it can be financially, it can be through equipment that you don't want anymore, it can be through time, it can be through moderation services, it can be through whatever you want. If you want to help, by all means, I think we're all in this together. Ultimately, I need to get the studio back online by April 11th, right? That's the Yuri's Night Global Webcast. And it's going to be awesome, right? Like, I cannot tell you how much stuff is... Like, this studio will rival that of larger broadcasters, right? We will be able to do most of what... I got to stop touching my face. Most of what other broadcasting facilities can do, and it's just like our little studio. It'll be 4K all the way through. We'll have live, dynamic, real-time commenting and chatting on the screen. You'll be able to dial in and have your voice and video heard. Like, this is some really freaking cool stuff that we're building here, and I am excited to share this with you. Here's the thing. Why stop at Yuri's Night? We are all quarantined. We're in this COVID thing together. Let's use this studio space to get people excited about uplifting, amazing stories for humans exploring the cosmos. There will be a time when we get through COVID, so let's use the space. If you've got an astronomy thing that you guys want to do and you just want to like borrow the space, as long as we have the resources available, let's do an astronomy webcast. If you have your own space webcast show that you want to do live, let's go ahead and do it, because this whole setup, this whole upgrade is to design our systems for remote everything. I can remote control the studio. I can remote all of the things, right? I can remote control the audio board, the switcher. You've got Zoom rooms, so we can bring in guests remotely. Like, we can do whatever you need to do. We can have a single talent. Like for Yuri's Night, we're gonna have one person sitting out here, most likely Jared, with a couple of screens. It's going to be awesome. Let me go back to comments here. Can we get more technology updates in rocketry and such? Joe, absolutely. So that would be our space news and our normal live shows. So this will be the last behind the scenes program on this channel. Again, go to Jamie's Bits to get more behind the scenes stuff. So you're not going to see this stuff here anymore, but I will continue to produce that content. You're going to get a space news imminently. I think it's getting released tomorrow morning. So there you go. Yeah, Alan said, really, we miss tomorrow's weekly content. To be fair, like, we've been weekly on space news for a long time. We only missed 1 week. So you're going to get that back. Like, Jared was ill, and I'm not going to make people work when they're sick. That's not kind. Terrence, I should create an Amazon wish list for updates. That's a great idea. Oh, or an Amazon affiliate. Yeah. Cameron says, I have faith. I believe you do the right thing. Thus, no changes to Patreon. Miss the gang, Lisa Jade, everyone. I don't know what you mean by changes to Patreon, but there isn't really a plan to change Patreon. It's like we'll update and enhance the reward architecture as we always do, because it always requires review. But Patreon is staying around. In fact, I just, because I did a terrible job of posting this last month's show, so I just posted them all to Patreon. I'm sorry for doing it in bulk. I will get better at that. It's been chaos. I'm sorry. This whole thing is just throwing a wrench into everything, so I'm trying to figure out how to make that all go. The panel tomorrow with Space Mike on the TV from a few years ago is perfectly fine. I missed that. The Moon is Square says, and actually, I mean, a lot of people say they missed that, except that we were stuck in our viewership level with that show. In fact, we were not growing. We were completely stagnant with that, and that show still also wasn't compelling. The effect with Space Mike was neat, but you just weren't getting the content that you deserved. Doing news live doesn't make sense. So creating that, but conversational, is I think what we need to do. So it'll be a couple of people, but in a conversation with you, not like just talking with you, not at you, right? So as if a bunch of space geeks are getting together and just nerding out over space. What's the channel? Jamie's Bits. Jamie, JAMI_SBITS. Jamie is a play on words. It's funny. Martin says, yeah, I miss Space Mike. He was the most cheerful human. Space Mike's a great guy. We miss him too, but to be clear, he will not be coming back to the channel. Dallin, I think, says, now more than ever, we need forward-looking content that is optimistic about the future of humanity. Keep what you do. Great stuff. I appreciate that. I agree. I think just an optimistic look at the future, which is our MO, like that is what we do. I think that's a good idea. Hello, Harry. Young Wizard on Duty is going to attempt to post a link, but I'm not sure links are allowed in our YouTube channel. But again, I will get that for you. It'll be in the description. Let's see here. Joe says, once a week isn't enough. Please note off. So you know what would be cool is doing a space news, which is, so news on demand makes sense. It gives us a moment to do the research, script it properly, get the data out there that we need, edit everything together so it's a nice tight package so you get the news that you need without a bunch of superfluous stuff around the sides. I think that's a winning format for news, space news, and I think that's here to stay. I don't see any real big changes to that. I just don't see any really big changes to that. However, the live shows are a different beast, right? You just can't have that level of content without a whole back-end crew and like highly scripting it. And why are you live if you're highly scripted? What's the point? So instead of that, the live shows will be dynamic. And ultimately what would be nice is if we released one space news and one live show per week. So you would get, you know, sort of 2 shows from us every week. Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. For those of you worried about my health, I've been inhaling ceiling dust all day long. It's definitely the ceiling dust. With the $2 trillion injection into the U.S. economy, do you think the Space Launch System and Artemis will continue to be funded? I do. I don't believe that either one of those programs is in jeopardy of anything. For better or worse, I think that there's just a lot of political might behind both programs. More specifically, more Space Launch System than Artemis like as a whole architecture. Yeah, remember to drink water. I've been drinking bubbly, so. So I don't think that any of that will be going away anytime soon. Yeah. One quick question for everyone as I think about and contemplate bringing back the live shows. What really sucked for me personally was when we do the live shows on Saturday, it burns my entire Saturday. Keep in mind that we also work at SpaceX, which means that we work really long hours throughout the week, and then we also get rid of our Saturday. It's like we only got one day a week to actually take a breather. It might be nice to do them on Friday night Pacific time, which is going to be a really horrible time for a lot of people, especially like if it's like 7 o'clock at night Pacific. That's 10 o'clock at night Eastern. And I have no idea what time that is in like Australia, but like. Esteban says, space isn't so important right now, saving lives is. You know, everything's always important, and one doesn't have to be a bigger priority than the other. Not to say that saving lives isn't, but you don't have to pause one. And I would argue, if we had a great space program and we were already on Mars, even if this pandemic got worse and worse and worse, we would at least have a backup of our civilization on an alternate planet, which we don't. So I would actually argue space is more important now than it has ever been. Getting humans out into the cosmos is more important now. This just shows how vulnerable our species actually is. Oh yeah, Jamie's bits. There's no E in Jamie. My new name is pulled out of my original name, which is Benjamin. So Benjamin's B-E-N-J-A-M-I-N. And so the reason my name is spelled Jamie, J-A-M-I, is because it was always there. It was always a part of me. And the E was not part of my original name, so yeah. Harry says that's a really good time for Australia. Well, you know, that's great. So I might start refocusing our shows to Fridays. Here's the thing. It's not happening right away. I need a moment to get all of this sorted, like look at the mess, everything, get all of this sorted. I have an idea. I don't have a budget for my idea, but I want to show you guys. It's a crazy idea, but I think it's fun. So Dutta did some forward thinking that I hadn't done, which is a good idea. I was only going to plug in the 3 panels, 1, 2, and then 3, and that's all I bought. And he actually did 4 and 5, so you can actually see that the cables have been dropped and I got the panels coming, which means that we can actually get cameras into this area over here, where I've got all these boxes and whatnot against that black wall. So my idea is black out that, like get a board up or something, or get like black something. So just make that totally black. And then you can get video grade or cinema grade LED lights that actually have multiple colors going up the tube. And so you can actually have like, so I want to get like a light here and a light here and a light here and a light here. Just a bunch at different heights and at different depths throughout the scene. And then a singular like stool kind of in the middle. So you're surrounded by blackness. Like the whole scene is black, except that the talent is lit with some like fairly focused lights, and then just these colorful lights that are very slowly moving in color at different heights and depths throughout the entire scene. I think that would be a really cool set for something. I don't know what. I don't know what to use it for, but I think it'd be really cool. And actually what it might be cool for is moving Space News over to that set instead of this set. So keep this set for the live show, and then move Space News over to that other set. The problem is those lamps that I was just talking about, they're like $750, $800. My hair is not bleached. This is there's a little bit of red color in it, but this is my natural. This is for the most part my natural hair. It's really thick. It's getting long, which is kind of cool. Sam says interesting thoughts on the importance of the space program. Yeah, I mean, in times like this, I don't think this is a time for us to go, oh, we should cut spending on space. At times like this is a time where we should go, oh, we need to increase spending in space, specifically humans in space, and being able to get a backup of our species. Exactly what, you know, both Elon and I think Jeff Bezos has kind of said that. He's more focusing on the cislunar space. I would kind of argue that the moon is too close for a civilization backup. Mars is about as close as you could realistically be. We would have to, we would have had to quarantine the Martian planet November-ish to prevent, Like, but we could have done it further out, like Pluto. Guido, Guido. How many at tomorrow work at SpaceX? Just two of us. So myself and my wife. So Carrie Ann is the head barista, and I am the principal video engineer over at SpaceX. Fabiano, what do you think about doing one show that 1 hour long in the day and time that's better for you, and not one shorter, maybe 15 in the day, better for... I mean, yeah, it's going to be figuring out timing. I got to get with, like... I'm focusing on figuring out content right now. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and rather than producing garbage, I'm just taking a break. We're taking a breather. I'm trying to figure it out. Get Carrie Ann and I on set, try a few different things, see what works. I've got some of that data now, and so I think the next step is, okay, let's start rolling some of these things back in very slowly and see what we can do to create a really great, compelling live show. So that's the plan. Like, that's my plan. Hopefully we'll be able to bring it back weekly. I don't know yet. Yep. Sebastian says, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern is 4 a.m. Saturday in Europe. Then no one in Europe can watch live. And I just got to get up early. I mean, look, here's the deal. It's going to be night somewhere, right? So 10 p.m. Eastern is midnight somewhere. It's 4 a.m. somewhere else. It's 6 a.m. somewhere else. I can't prevent that. There's no perfect time where I can broadcast for absolutely everyone around the world. What I need to do is optimize for the people that are going to come in and participate live as best I can. I also thought about moving the show time for other people around the world, but like, that didn't really seem to work. So I think back to a regularly scheduled program. Alan asked, do you know how far along Dragon X is? So because that is a SpaceX question, I cannot answer it. You will have to talk to the public affairs team at SpaceX for anything like that. Oliver Jamie, Jami at TMRO.tv. Dpod Dolphin Ryan says, just tell everyone to operate on coordinated universal time. Yeah, but I mean, still, it's still going to be in the middle of the night for someone because rotating planetary body, right? So half the planet will be in darkness. Yeah, Marty the Martian used to do 3 a.m. for live shows in Australia. Again, it's an imperfect plan. We're trying a bunch of things. That's the goal. So there you go. One more quick walkthrough for you guys, just so you can kind of see a status. Like you can see, yeah, the Pacific time is perfect. That's because that is our native time zone. So you can see how much of this we've got opened up. My next step is we've got some really old Cat 3. I did not say that wrong. Cat 3 cable, which needs to go away. So what I'm going to do is snip the cable, take this cable, tape it to that cable, and pull it down the wall so that it actually acts as a cable pull for each one of those. I just ordered the face plates for the other two over there, and then I've got a black face plate for that. Just ordered the TVs for this section. No real upgrades to this set, although I did get a quote for another Quasar Science Kino Flow, so it'll be 3 of these over here to get a better light fill. And then actually we'll dim these down a little bit, just so that we've got a nicer fill, dim down the background to give it kind of a more... Well, I'm sorry. The foreground lights will be higher. The background lights will be dimmed a little bit. That will give it a slightly more, I don't know, contrasty look. No changes with the background lights. Again, you can just see, like, this is how many cables we just pulled. This is several thousand feet of cable, ultimately, right? All of it's labeled as well, right? And so this will all get, what has to happen is this long spool that goes out the door and around the corner ends up, sorry for moving the camera quickly, will take a left turn, go this way, and it's going to come down. But before I can do that, this entire umbilical of cable needs to be sorted, cut, and removed. The network needs to be upgraded, and then I've got everything will come down here. It will come across the floor, and then it's going to come back up the rack. This PDU will likely get pulled out, and then we're going to have bars that go across, and then basically the cable will come up, and then actually come over the bar and then plug into the switcher or wherever it needs to go. Everything will be labeled, look really nice. I've got very, very small power cables so that we can actually get like, 1 foot cables that go from here to here. And then a lot of these devices, like all of these, don't require power. They're actually power over Ethernet. So it'll be this really sleek looking rack. Again, all in 4K. And one more time, if you guys have an event that you want to produce, like a live astronomy event or some, a live space event, or, if we even want to start doing live launches again, whatever we might want to do, like, let me know. I can't do anything prior to April 11th. Like this, I'll be lucky to get this entire system back online by April 11th. But let me know and let's start doing some cool stuff. If we're all going to be in quarantine together, like, let's get excited about space together then too, right? And I'm not going to charge for the room. Like, let's just do this because it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? That's my thought. And then I'll just show you. This was clean prior to me starting. That's my. It's embarrassingly bad. Yeah. Most of this is actually going to go away in this room. That iMac Pro is going to go next to the technical director. Guido says live launches would be amazing. Yeah, actually, that is how Space Vidcast, which is now tomorrow, got our start, right? We used to live stream space shuttle launches. Very similar to what Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, does. But we also had like live telemetry on the screen. I mean, you can clearly see my influence in the SpaceX webcasts. Because prior to that, we were the only ones who did it. And then I added it to SpaceX, and then everyone copied me. So I know that's egotistical, but it's true. So, yeah. All right. I think, yeah, so many. It's all bubbly, though. So, Harry says many cans. Reminds me how my workspaces always end up. Yeah, it's just a disaster zone right now in here. Everything is a mess. Everything's a mess. But it will all come together. It will all look fantastic. I'm excited to get like a control room cam going. One of the Patreon rewards is one of the rewards, I think, is going to be guest access to our comms system that we use. So you'll be able to listen to the producers channel, the engineering channel, the individual microphones, like all of that fun jazz. And then in there, I think will actually be a live control room cam. So that'd be kind of cool. So you'll be able to like see the control room as we're producing live shows. You'll be able to hear the comms chatter as it's occurring. It's all super low latency. And then I might also throw like the regular show in there. And if that's the case, then you'll be able to watch the show with less than 2 seconds of latency. It's actually, I think, less than 1 second of latency. And then just open up the chat room and have a conversation. I think that'd be pretty powerful, pretty awesome. So, yeah. I think, right? Like, yeah. Alan says, I actually do provide live launch coverage for every SpaceX launch. Yeah, that's the thing. I cannot provide live launch coverage of SpaceX. If we want tomorrow to do SpaceX launch coverage, someone else in the tomorrow crew will have to do it. It cannot be me. And right now, we don't have anyone trained to the level of what I do, if that makes sense. So, like, I mean, like, I do this for a living, and no one in tomorrow does this for a living. So I don't know how to execute on that. Oh, wow, that's just a mess back there. Anyhow, some of the ideas. Let's see if I can move backwards. Sorry for the... Raj says, hello, everyone. It's Pleasant Supplies live stream. Been a long time. Glad you could see it. Smoke Scale says, from chaos comes order. You are not wrong. Like, it will be... This is part of my process. This is not the first time I've done it. It becomes a disaster zone. And then it all kind of like, it's all at like the last minute. Everything kind of slides together and just goes boop, 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 boop. Makes that noise. Martin says, SpaceX broadcasts are the best. I watch them all from any company. I love launches. Thanks for making them so good. To be clear, let me be very clear. I'm the video engineer, so I make sure that the picture looks great and that you can see it. And then I work on the technology behind the scenes to enable stuff. But the content itself, that's a totally different team. So if you love the content, which is probably what you're talking about, I will say thank you on behalf of SpaceX, but that's not me. Johnny Cheese says, here's a non-SpaceX related question. Did you get a chance to binge Star Trek Picard? Best Star Trek ever. If you've not seen Picard, go watch it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. Raj, am I still working at Company X? I am. I'll be back at the office tomorrow morning. Young Wizard on Duty says, my hair is cute. I've got a Julie Andrews thing going. Yeah, it's, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll try to keep it away from transition-based stuff. It's getting longer. It's getting better. But, like, I'm not happy with it yet. Yeah, Picard was incredible. I loved the long story arc. They made it topical about society today, but without cramming it down our throat. I just thought they did such a fantastic job. Alan says, provide the SpaceX feed here through tomorrow's channel. I mean, we can, but, like, again, I'll need someone else to do it. I can't do it. Raj, I'm looking forward to Star Trek Season 2 of Picard, or Star Trek Picard Season 2. Yeah, I agree. Smoke Scale is a wonderful series. I absolutely agreed. John says, I haven't seen this finale. Don't spoil it. I was going to say something funny, but, like, ugh. Yeah, there you go. All right. I think that's about it. Like, I don't need to go on for an hour. I just wanted to give everyone an update. Again, I cannot stress enough. Jamie's Bits, if you like these behind-the-scenes videos, I'm going to put all my personal stuff there. Tomorrow personal stuff, which includes behind-the-scenes videos, studio upgrades, all this fun jazz, personal transition stuff, Disneyland stuff, anything I'm allowed to talk about is going to go on Jamie's Bits. Tomorrow will be hyper-focused from now on just producing content about space. You're going to get space news, live shows, and things like Yuri's Night. Although Yuri's Night itself will be broadcasting on their channel, not ours. We're just producing it for them, and we're producing it for them for free because it's the right thing to do. So we're actually losing a butt ton of money on Yuri's Night because, like, I'm doing all of these upgrades and I'm not charging them at all for this. Fabiano, yes, you can have the link to my channel, but I'm on my phone, so what I'm going to do is I will leave this as public as soon as I'm done. I will go back, edit the description, and add a link to my channel in the description. So there you go. And then let everyone you can think of know that if this is stuff you want to see, you have to go to my personal channel in order to see it. Raj says, hope we're all taking care because of COVID. You know, we're doing our best. We're doing what we can. We're trying to be safe. You know, you see me touching my face, but I am solo. I'm the only one here. I've been the only one here for a little bit. You know, washing my hands constantly. Also, like, touching my hair, not my face. So, okay. I think that's it. I gotta continue doing work. Actually, I might be at a stuck point. I mean, I can pull the cable down, but actually, no, I can't. No, I'm done for the day. So if you want to see me working tomorrow, you have to subscribe to that other channel, and I will work on potentially, like, live streaming me swearing as I pull all of the old cable out. I will be cutting my old 1,000-foot spools of fiber optic cable, which is going to kill me a little bit on the inside, because those are the very first very expensive spools of cables that Space Vidcast ever purchased back in the Space Shuttle days. It's what we used to run our live coverage of Space Shuttle in high definition. We've had it for, I think, a decade now. And in order to get it out of the ceiling, I'm going to have to cut it. We're going to destroy the cable. So it's the end of an era. Again, it's just cable for everyone else, but for me, it was that first big expensive thing. Yeah, it is a bit of a relic. There's some relic gear still in here. Actually, no, I think there's only one piece left. The encoder, I think, is the only thing left that, other than the cable, that is old Space Vidcast days. Everything else is tomorrow. So, yeah. So that's going to hurt a little bit. Like, emotionally, it's going to hurt a little bit. But I'm going to do that tomorrow. Pull all that stuff out. Try to get this. And then I think the other goal of tomorrow is to get the rest of the cable routed down the wall. And then potentially get the new network installed if it comes in time. On that note, as everyone is saying in the chat room, everyone be safe, be smart. That's why we're doing Yuri's Night remotely through the TMRO Studio, so that we can be safe, so that we can still have a global webcast, but do it remotely, but still enjoy and celebrate humans in space, like our accomplishments in space. So thank you, everyone, and I'll see you on my personal channel tomorrow, as I awkwardly figure out how to hang up the call.